Okay, good evening, welcome to another little live stream. Getting into a bit of a roll of doing these ones now. So this live stream, I basically think I'm going to carry on where I left off from the last live stream. I was a bit I felt a bit poorly towards the end of the last stream, which is why I ended up finishing it early. Yeah, I feel like I just kind of need to carry on working on these little sea life studies, because I really want to try and work towards getting this big panoramic painting done. I still haven't 100% decided if I want it to be like a more illustrative painting or like a really realistic one. It'll probably end up being halfway between the two. But yeah, I feel like I need to kind of sit and do some studies of some sea life creatures that could feature on the little paintings. So in the last stream, which I done on Tuesday, you would have seen me sketching out this little turtle and then this little turtle, and I did also sketch out a fish, but I've since then rubbed that fish out because I've decided I'm kind of probably going to draw the fishes on a different sketchbook page. And then since then I've also drawn this little baby turtle who looks a little bit angry now and actually looks weirdly like a Pokemon character. I don't know which one it is, like the Bulbasaur, that one, the one that looks a bit like a tortoise. It looks a little bit grumpy like him, but yeah, I've sat and sketched out him. I've also, you might not be able to pick this up very well on the camera, but I've sat and started studying a few bits of coral, because in the live stream, that's what in my last live stream, that's what I was going to sit and do more studies of, was some coral, but I just kind of, yeah, I got a bit headachy and a bit like I couldn't concentrate on things in the last stream. So hopefully in this stream I can actually get around to doing a bit of a better study of the coral. And then I really don't think you're going to see this on this page, but I've also started very lightly sketching out some other bits of coral. So yeah, today's stream is basically just going to be about me working into these studies a bit more. I think some of them I'm probably going to work in with paint, but others I might like play around a little bit with perhaps some other media that I don't always necessarily use. So I've got like chalk pastels lying around, I've got inks, I've got oil pastels. What else can I use? Maybe even just like pen drawings and stuff like that, but we will see how we go. So very rough outline of the thumbnail of the panoramic that I'm trying to head towards. So you might find that over this video, over this like stream, I also might start like doing a few other little thumbnails for ideas for some compositions and stuff like that, but I'm just going to bung this out of the way for now, because today's live stream is more about actually doing the studies rather than focusing too much on the final composition, because I'm just decided I'm going to take it nice and steady and just gradually work my way through, rather than worrying too much about what I'm trying to end with. So saying all that, I think I'm going to actually get on with doing some painting. I'm just going to bung my hair up, because I always end up accidentally painting my hair if I'm not careful. So I'm going to bung it up in a little high bun, get it up and out of the way. Lovely jubbly. Right, let me get a palette out. I think I'm going to use my nice big palette actually, because that's alright, I didn't actually knock anything over there. But yeah, I'm going to use this palette because my other ones have got some other paints mixed up from a project in them, and I don't want to like waste the paints, because I'm going to carry on with that project later on this week. So I'm just going to keep them ones to the side. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a nice light bluey greeny colour. I'm probably just going to do a wash of colour over the whole spread of the sketchbook. So get out my trusty acrylic paints again. This one's running out. but that'll be fine. I probably will put a bit of yellow on my palette for the background, just in case. And then some blue as well. Right, I'm going to find a nice big brush, the bigger the better, to be honest, because I've got a whole sketchbook page to cover. Let's go for this one. This is a nice big flat paintbrush, so it should be nice and easy to cover. I'm going to pour some of my water from my bottle of water into here. Just so I've got some fresh water. Okay. Let me just quickly update social media that I'm currently live painting. I never know the best way to actually advertise these little live streams, but I'm just going to keep on plodding along with them. I'm going to try and be here every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, and if you want to come and join me, you're more than welcome to. I do think I probably need to perhaps start some of these live streams a little bit earlier. Perhaps I might even end up trying to do it like, so I do a couple each day where they're slightly different live streams. So maybe some of them might be tutorials, others could perhaps be like crafting sessions where I'd like to just sit and like play with clay and do some knitting and maybe do some embroidery live on iCloud, not on iCloud. What am I on? YouTube. But yeah, that is all stuff that I'm planning on hopefully doing in the future. Right, so that's Facebook. Hold on, I will get on with painting in a minute, I promise. That's whilst that is doing whatever that is doing. The phone seems to be going really slow today. I'm going to start mixing up the colour that I want. So I've just put a bit of water into this bit of the palette because I like to kind of water everything down quite nicely before I do my wash of colour. So if I put a bit of water in, that's mainly just so I can see some of the marks and stuff underneath. I'm going to lighten it a little bit because I don't want it too dark. Add a bit more water again. Tiny blob of yellow in it just to kind of brighten the colour up a bit, and a bit more white. What on earth is going on with my phones? Having a hiccup. Ah, here we go. Right, and then just take the, sorry, probably should have done this beforehand, but let me just quickly take a little picture for Instagram as well. absolutely terrible at social media, so you'll have to just bear with me a second. Does not come naturally to me at all. Right, I really am ready to start properly. So let me put a bit more water into this palette. Like so, just tip a little bit more in because I want it to be quite liquidy, so it can give me a nice even wash over the sketchbook page. And also it means I've just got a little bit more paint there to spread around with as well. So right, let me hold this like a proper artist, and I'm just gonna go for it. Nice big strokes. Just want to get the whole page covered in a nice wash. I'm not going to worry about making it too much of an even wash because I'm going to hopefully paint over it in nice bright colourful colours for the turtles in a minute, but I just don't like painting directly onto white paper. Right, that's that side, and I'm just going to do the same for this side. I don't want to water the paint down too much more. Okay. It's quite handy just to have a reference of this colour, so that when I come to paint like my final piece on a big canvas, I can hopefully mix up a similar one and have like a similar starting base for when I do the big illustration. Right, that is a nice little wash of colour done. Let me get rid of this big paintbrush, put the palette to the side. I'm going to have to grab a little something to hold that down with so the page don't go too curly. Got a nice crocodile clip, that will help. Alright, so I'm just going to put this on to this side here. I might just zoom in with the camera a little bit because I'm going to work on this little top turtle, Mr. Topman Hat Turtle as I called him in the other video. Right, see that a little bit better now. To say in the future I'd love to get a slightly better webcam, but this was like a nice cheap one off of Amazon, but I just kind of wanted to really give live streaming a go, so I thought I'd just get a nice little cheap live stream, nice little cheap webcam to practice with, and then hopefully as I get a little bit more confident about doing these live streams, hopefully I can invest in some better ones eventually. Now, I have been a bit of a naughty girl this week regarding my paintbrushes. I have been leaving them in the water and not washing them out, which isn't the best thing to do with paintbrushes. So I need to find one which isn't too mucky to use. Let's go for this one. Hopefully I can rinse it out a bit in my new water. That's alright, it's not too bad. Just whirl it around in my fingers a little bit just to give back the point a bit. let's get working on this turtle. Find the reference photo again. Luckily I have it saved on my iPad. I have actually figured out how you meant to put the pictures onto Streamlabs. I figured it out the other day, but I just didn't get around to sorting it out. But hopefully by Sunday's live stream I will have that all properly sorted out. Right, so let me mix up a bit of, I don't really need to, I can go with the blue actually. I'm just going to put a bit of, actually no I will, a bit of blue and black together. For this little distinguished fellow. Mix in a bit more water, a bit more blue. Make it all nice and liquidy. Right, zoom in on the reference photo and let's go from there. Okay, so we'll make his neck a little bit longer than how I originally drew it. La 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 la. If you can hear my washing machine going on in the background, that's what that big loud noise is. Definitely drawn his face too small when I originally sketched him out, and also because I rubbed out, I'd originally drawn a clownfish on top of his fin, but I rubbed it out, so I've got to obviously re-sketch back in his fin again. So this fin does come out a bit further than how I originally sketched it. He still looks like a grumpy turtle. What is actually quite handy, as I noticed the other day, that even though the panoramic is quite big, it's actually not too much bigger, like width-wise, than my sketchbook. So when I come to actually drawing the turtles onto my sketchbook, I should have a bit of an easier time of getting the proportions right, because I won't have to like enlarge them too much. Might even have to shrink them, to be honest, but we'll figure that out when I come to actually designing the composition. At the moment, it's doing all this sketchbook stuff is more about giving me ideas about what I can fill the composition with, and giving me a go at practicing drawing some of the animals. And also I could also use like my sketchbook to figure out colours and stuff like that. So it can be quite a long old process trying to figure out how to do a painting, especially if you're not actually like necessarily using like a whole reference photo. So like if you're coming up with a design based off like a collection of reference photos, it can be really fun, but also like a little bit confusing because you don't always know what to put where and stuff. So I'm giving him a bit more of a neck, because I didn't really give him much of a neck when I actually sketched him out. And then I'm going to move his shell back a bit, like so, and bring the edge of his shell so there's a bit more of a definition, because he was a bit like hunched up, but now he looks a little bit better. Right, so got to remember that the top of his shell doesn't really come up much higher than what his head does, so we're going to draw coming up about there. I was actually hoping to do a bit of a longer live stream today. Like, I was going to try and start at like 6 or something, but having trouble with the internet again, so kind of waited a bit later, and hopefully my internet isn't too bad. I know it does sometimes glitch a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, but you can't help it. Right, let's draw. So his fin actually comes out a bit more like in line with, ow, you nippy fly, you just got bitten by something, god blimey. Right, anyway, so yeah, the edge of his fin comes out more in line with his shell, and then comes inwards. I'm just going to add a bit more water to my paint mix. Okay. There's something about turtles more than some other animals where they do have like a hint of cartoon characterness about them. This one in particular really does look like a grumpy kind of old man turtle. Sort of imagine him with like a top hat and kind of being a bit of like a, perhaps even like a gangster turtle. I am actually at the moment working on a sketch with me style video where I'm going through the alphabet and designing different characters based on animals in the alphabet. So the one that I'm working on at the moment is an alligator, obviously for the letter A. So yeah, I've been doing studies of the alligators, and then I want to try and do like an actual character and come up with like a little book character. And then what I'd love to do eventually is do like a needle felted version of the character, or a clay model of the character or something like that. Right, let's try and get a bit more of his fin put in. I'm going to come down this way. I really am going to have to put my headphones on or something in a minute. It's very quiet. I'm really not used to doing things in the quiet. It's got a little bit of like the rest of his fin shadowed there. and then his shell starts coming down. Like that. One thing I am quite enjoying or looking forward to doing on these little turtles is adding the little spots and the shell markings and stuff on them. Well, that's going to take a while, I think. Bring out the bottom of his fin, so more about there. That's the bottom of his front fin. Will you go away, you silly fly? Honestly. The trouble is we live in like in the middle of two fields, and they're like proper, they're actually farmed fields. So they've got like wheat out that side, wheat out that side, and then blackcurrants that way. And so when it's all hot, they do attract some big old flies. I keep getting bitten by them. This one's just a little annoying one, but they do seem to be getting vicious. The rest of this fin in. Don't want it to go down too much further than this one, so I'm going to pretend to draw an imaginary line, line it up with it. You have to let me know in like the comments and stuff, if people do end up watching this live stream, like what type of tips and hints and information you want to have about how to do different paintings and stuff, because I sort of feel like I always say the same type of thing, but it's basically just because that's the way I work. I'm not saying it's the correct way to work at all, but it's kind of just the way that I gradually develop studies, is by like pretending to draw lines between things, and kind of it just helps me get an idea of proportions and stuff. But yeah, you have to let me know what type of tips and tricks you want to know about different paintings. I did have a comment the other day this was on TikTok, asking how to do like bird feathers and stuff like that, so I might do some tips and tricks on how to do bird feathers on different animals. And yeah, just if you want to know, I'm willing to give people tips. Just obviously I'm no expert, but I'm willing to tell people how I do different things anyway. Okay, might make this fin a little bit longer. I don't want it too much longer. Oh. Fly, go away, please. Okay, and draw the back bit of the shell soon. Well, actually I might draw his little back fin. I'm going to draw it so it's basically in line with that part. I'd actually quite like to do like a lino print or a block print or something of a turtle. Make a little turtle cushion. or a screen print. Do like a little collection of them. Midvande. That's his back fin. Like that. I feel like I should be watching Moana or something whilst doing this, or Finding Nemo. Not Jaws. Definitely wouldn't want to watch Jaws. Not gonna lie, I find the ocean a little bit freaky. It's like I can go and stand in the sea alright, but yeah, as soon as you can't see what's going on underneath your feet, I don't like that very much. Also, when you see some of the videos of like some of the whales and stuff popping up on TikTok, they're like massive. It kind of freaks me out a bit. This is the only irritation that I have with sketchbooks, is when I have to paint over the middle of the page. I probably should have planned out where I was placing the turtle a bit better to avoid doing that, but sometimes painting over this middle bit is really irritating. But I will get there somehow. Let me just move him along a little bit. So I'm just going to paint in the rest of his back fin, or his front back fin. God knows why I'm singing that all of a sudden. I'd actually love to do like a little animation one day of a turtle swimming. I do find turtles quite fascinating. Mind you, I go through like habits of kind of getting obsessed with one animal and then drawing loads of them, and then kind of wearing myself out of the obsession and moving on to doing a different animal. I tend to do that with red pandas. I've done that a lot with recently. I've got loads of drawings of red pandas at the moment, and I haven't got a clue what to do with them. I would like to start trying to paint them onto like tote bags and cushions and things like that. Right, so there weren't too many changes that I had to make from the original sketch that I'd done there. You'll probably find that when I start adding the actual colours in, some of the shapes will change a little bit more, but not looking too bad. Now I've got to decide if I'm going to do the same thing with this one and this one, or whether I'm going to work straight into this one with colour. I think whilst I've got the paint mixed up, I'm probably going to at least work into this one, and then we'll go back into working into that one with colour in a minute. This one I haven't decided. I might end up just doing as like a pen study or something like that. Let's see if I get bored of painting, basically. Right, so let me find the original reference for this little turtle. Here it is, thank God. I thought I'd lost it, but he's there. I think this one's probably going to change a lot from the original sketch. Let me just move some of these out of the way, because I'm going to end up spilling paint water everywhere, which isn't the best. Right, I'm just going to quickly go and get myself another drink because I've got a bit of a sore throat. So I'm just going to go quickly go and have a little drink break, and I will then come back and we'll do the ink for this little turtle fellow here. So if I can remember how to do this. Is it going to do it? Oh, yep. Right, I will be back soon. Okay, cookie, I'm back. Just had to desperately go get myself some water because I feel like my throat was really sore. Right, so what was I about to do? Oh yeah, I was gonna get on with doing the pre-sketch of this little turtle down here, or the correction sketch probably. It's probably a better word for it, because that's what I tend to do when I'm doing this stage, is try and correct some of the mistakes that I've done when I originally started sketching them out. So, and to be honest, I think this one is going to have a lot of changes. So I'm just going to add a lot more water onto my tray. So I want it to be quite fluid and inky, like. Just makes it easier to draw with, to be honest. Right, so I'm going to look at the original reference photo, and the one thing I have noticed is that I've definitely done his neck too short, which probably means that it's going to overlap with this one, but that's fine. As I say, sketchbooks are for making mistakes in anyway, so when I come to actually paint it on the big canvas, I'll know that I need to leave a bit more room to paint the neck in and stuff like that. Right, so definitely need to make his, is it his neck or his head that is longer? I really wish I'd actually sorted out getting the images onto the screen so I could show you properly. By the time hopefully by the time I do my next live stream on Sunday, hopefully I will have worked out how to properly do that, and then I can actually show you the references that I'm working on. Just make the top of the or the edge of the shell come out a bit further. Okay. Bring this shell so it comes more down this way, and then we're gonna give him a bit more of like a extension to his shoulder bit. I don't know if they actually have shoulders, but it looks like his shoulder in the reference. And then the front of his fin is more out here. Okay. My iPad keeps beeping at me because my nephew keeps on downloading a game on it, and I don't know how to turn the notifications off, and it keeps on telling me to come and play, and I don't want to come and play. Not my nephew, but the game. I don't know how to turn the notifications off. Right, anyway, let's get the rest of this fin painted in. And this part. This is the part of the neck that is definitely longer than how I originally drew it. This part is, his head is definitely going to have to overlap this little guy's fin a little bit, but that's not doing it too much, so not that big a deal. And we've got to bring this spin out a lot further. Like so. Okay. Bring front of his bin down a bit, and this bit. I think we're definitely going to lose this spin off of the front of the page, but that's fine. Because it might be when I come to do the actual composition that like the bits where I haven't got the details in my sketchbook for, I can either kind of make up by looking at other references, or worst comes to worst, I can cover up with a bit of coral. Be like, oh, you can't see that bit of thing because there's a coral in front of it. Right, let's do the underneath bit of his belly. He's definitely too skinny on the original way that I sketched him. I'll tell you what I could actually put on in my headphones. I still haven't watched the final of Great British Sewing Bee. Might have to do that in a minute, although that might be too distracting. I finally got around to starting a new knitting project this week, which is quite good because I've been in a bit of like a creative slump for about a good 2, maybe 3 months now, and I hadn't been doing any like textile stuff, which is unusual for me, or like any crafty stuff. But I actually decided to pick up my knitting needles yesterday and managed to start a knitting project. To be honest, it's a knitting project that I've restarted about 5 times, but yeah, it was a good feeling to actually get into doing some crafty stuff again. Actually, I think doing these live streams are helping me a bit with getting back out of my creative block, because it's kind of, obviously I don't want to prepare for live streams too much, but it's kind of giving me like, oh, I need to get this done to be able to do on the live stream and things like that. So, and it's actually given me a few ideas of a few other creative things that I could probably do on live stream. Like I want to kind of do some, like maybe some pyrography on live stream. Is it pyrography where you do wood burning? I think that's the posh name for it. I just call it wood burning. But yeah, I want to try and do that, maybe some embroidery on live stream. I'd quite like to perhaps like do some screen printing or some silk painting and stuff on live stream as well. And obviously I do actually at the moment need to start thinking about Christmas. I know it's really early to start thinking about Christmas, but I think in like like getting products made type of world, I think you have to kind of think about Christmas very early. I did actually randomly start painting a little ball the other day. Because I want to try and make some hand painted balls to sell for this Christmas. Obviously I do also want to make and sell some stuff for Halloween as well, so can't think all Christmas, but I'm definitely starting to. Right, let's try and get a little bit of this fin on. Go down here. It's definitely going to end up going off the page a bit, but that's alright. I could probably stick a page underneath it and just carry it on. Do I have any glue and paper that I could do that with? Or is that a bit of a silly idea? Hold on, let me see if I can grab a bit of scrap craft paper. Do I have any scrap craft paper? I've got some scrap lined paper. Ouch! Oh, I do. That's handy. So I'm just going to make a little page extension on my sketchbook. Let me just move things so I can move my sketchbook up a little bit. This is where everything all ends up falling over and becomes irritating. Right, I'm just going to... Have I got some glue? I think I have over there. Hold on, let me just quickly grab some glue. Again, without knocking everything over. Let's see. Aha! That's a miracle. I actually do. I've got some glue. Now the next test is to see if it actually is usable. Oh, it is. Usually it's got like paint and rubbish on it. Right, I'm just gonna stick a little paper bit down here to act as a little extension. Oh, I've got like loads of pieces of paper there. Right, now hopefully I can paint the rest of his fin at the bottom of the page. Right, so this one, he has got an actually little tiny fin there. His back fin. Right, and then we're gonna just paint the bottom of this fin onto my little page extension. Hasn't stuck down very well. Try again. Comes down there like that. That means I can draw more of this fin as well. It still needs to come down at more of a straighter angle. Do 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 do. Do do do. Okay, don't want to go down too far, but kind of goes a little bit further down than this one, probably about there-ish. Let's join it up. Right, that's that little turtle now fully sketched out. Okay, I'm just going to draw. I said I wasn't, but I think I'm going to do the same thing for this turtle just while I'm in the sketching out mood. So let me just shift all my sketchbook along. Yeah, I don't know where to put everything. That's what I get for not tidying up my desk before I start doing a live stream. Got everything everywhere. Right, now where did I chuck the lid for the glue stick? There. Chuck that over there. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same sketching process just for this one. If I start going quiet, it's because I'm running out of things to say. But yeah, so I'm just going to do the sketching process for this one, and then we'll go through and add some nice bright colours to them, hopefully. Right. Ow. I'm having a day for injuring myself today. Right, let's get this little baby turtle painted in. I couldn't resist drawing this one when I saw it the other day. So let's get it painted in and then we'll go from there. Okay. Right. I'm hoping that when I eventually get round to doing some children's art and craft workshops and stuff like that, I can come up with some like activities to do with like making collages of the sea, I think turtles. I'd love to actually do like stained glass window turtles and stuff like that with them, and clay turtles and block lino printed or block printed turtles. Foil fish, that's another thing I'd quite like to do as like a children's art and craft activity, where like you can paint loads of patterns on the fish and then you can get this stuff called plexi foil, and it kind of reacts to the glue and stuff, then it ends up sticking to the bits where you only put the glue and things. I think that would look quite good on, with drawing, like a little activity to do with drawing fish. Okay. It's quite an interesting angle, this one, because you've got to try and get the head looking like it's coming towards you, and obviously the body and the shell going a bit more further away. Little mouth line, and then his under mouth line. Definitely neglected the turtles' necks when I originally drew them. Keep finding that they've got like bigger necks than what I sketched out. Don't tell me that this side's going to need to have a page extension as well. I might just get away with it. Definitely needs to draw the fin a bit bigger than what I originally have, so. Bring this fin a bit further down. I do wish the fly would buzz off. Should fly, don't bite me. Mind at least it's not a wasp. I got chased around my bedroom yesterday by a ginormous wasp. This bottom of the shell a bit lower. Underneath. Just make it lower there again. I think I've just about got away with not having to put a page extension on. just got to make this fin come out a bit further here. Further down here. Just bring it in this way a bit more. There. Can I see? Oh, he has got another fin I can see. Well, obviously, but can't always see him. But he's got like a little one poking through down there. And then the thing that attracted me to draw him in the first place was his ginormously big eyes. Got little big, little cute eyes. And he's got little spots in his eyes and yeah. Shape of his head a bit more. That will come when I come to actually paint it though. And I think the last thing I'm just going to do just from this reference photo is because he's got some little coral bits growing up near his fins, so I'm just going to actually sketch them in. I don't actually have to work in these with these in paint, but I'm just going to roughly sketch them in. Let's get one, because they might come in handy to reference them when I come to actually create the big canvas painting, which I'm obviously not going to do tonight. This is all just kind of preparatory sketches just to give me a few ideas later on when I actually start working on the canvas in the future. Then we're going to do this bit of coral here as well. Right, okay. I think it's time to go back to the first little turtle. Here he is. Just add some colour into it. Do 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 do. Just hold up the page extension. Right. Okie dokie. So I'm going to need to get out some red. I think. Lovely. Some yellow. Actually I got out yellow earlier, so I probably don't need any yellow at the moment. Probably will need some green though. In that palette. Right. white in a minute. Right, I think I'm going to go for a slightly bigger paintbrush because otherwise I'll be painting this all night. Let's go for this one. Zoom in a bit again on the reference. Right, let's mix up a bit of red and yellow. A bit of white. And then a bit of black. A bit more red into it and a tiny bit more white. Okay. Just gonna start off by painting some of the diamondy shapes on the turtle shell. There are some white lines, but I'm gonna just ignore them for now and then I'll paint them in a bit later on. Okay. Gonna add a bit of blue in to give me a bit of a bluer colour. Okay, let's mix up a bit of a lighter yellow. I'm just going to go in and paint this bit here. I'm actually going to mix a bit of green and white together with a bit of yellow as well. Okay, make the shell go up a bit higher, add some to this bit. I'm going to go back to my little smaller brush and go straight in with some white. Start marking out some of the shell markings a bit more. Probably should have done that first, to be honest. Okay. Let's get in a bit more of the white markings on the shell. Let's put there. Put in this little shape here. want to make that a little bit more orangier, but for now it can stay red for now. I'm going to go shut my bedroom door properly. Right. Let's get some more of the white bits of the shell painted in, and then we can go in with some of the hexagonals? No. The patterns. Mixed up a bit of orange there because I want to get a bit more orange into the shell. Okay. The great thing about using acrylic paints is that you can layer paints on top of each other and you don't have to wait very long for it to dry to be able to do so. Bit more yellow into the shell. quite a big splash of white on it. I think it's obviously where the sunlight is coming through. This little turtle must be swimming up near the surface. Going to switch to a slightly bigger brush because I was getting too hung up on the details and I just want to block out the colours, so I'm just going to get a slightly bigger brush. Add a bit more white where the rays are coming in. And then this back shell, the back bit of the shell's also got some white rays on it. That's not white, I need to wash up my paintbrush. Okay. So got to do a tiny bit of white in this bit, but not all of it. Yeah, mix a bit of yellow and green and brown together. Paint this bit in. On the dark bits, what I've done is mixed a bit of green and blue and black together because I don't want it to be very dark or like a straight black colour. Okay, get in there with this little shell bit. Got to paint over the irritating bit now where the page has gone over the page. Okay. There's like a hint of a shell anyway. So let's paint this bit next. Now it's actually got quite a yellow underbelly. Mix up some white. It's a bit more white. Okay, I'm going to go back to my smaller brush and add in a bit of bluey green. A bit more white. A bit more white into my palette. Right, so I'm just going to go a bit darker underneath the top of his fin. That doesn't make sense, but I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So yeah, under this bit. just gonna add like a green tealy line underneath the shell. That needs to be a bit lighter though. Make this bit a lot lighter. I think I might need to get out my stronger white paint in a minute because I'm struggling to make stuff stand out properly. Right, let me just get out my other white paint. This is my Liquitex Basic Acrylic Titanium white paint. I tend to use this if I want it to be a bit more vibrant, like the colours and stuff, because the equivalent of this white paint is alright. I tend to use it more for mixing than anything else, but it's just not quite as pigmented, so it tends to struggle a little bit, the other white paint. Right, let's really brighten up some of this colour. Okay. Gradually build up. There we go. A lot more pigmented, that's fine. So currently at the moment all I'm doing is just working on blocking out some of the colours. I actually keep on forgetting that this isn't meant to be the final piece either, because I'm going to be painting it on a big canvas, so it's technically only meant to be the practice piece, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but the perfectionist in me keeps coming out. Right, so a bit more white. Shade underneath the arm a bit, the fin even. Underneath this part. I'm gonna sometimes like ignoring the colours that are on the actual reference photo and adding like a brighter colour in, so I'm just going to see if like putting a bit of pink onto his neck might add a bit of life into him. And then I'm just going to go back in with a bit of white onto this bit. Some of this been painted in. Now obviously down the front of his fin there's actually quite a lot of bits of pattern and stuff, but what I'm just going to do is block out the colours, or do like a base colour, and then I can work into that a bit later on with like the white and stuff to indicate the different patterns. That bit had gone a bit too yellowy for my liking, so I've now just put a bit of blue on top to kind of calm that down a little bit, because it looked like he'd been out for a bit of a yellow spray tan. It's a bit more blue in. Got to decide whether to paint it over his face or not. Should be able to just about avoid it. Little turtle down here with his head in the way. Okay. It's gradually looking a bit more like a turtle. That's quite dark at the moment, that bit I just painted, but I'm going to gradually lighten it up. Do a bit more yellow under his front of his belly. Yeah, so this bit here I've got to gradually add more bits of white and layer on some more colours. So at the moment I'm just basically playing around with some of the highlighty bits, trying to make some of the white stand out a bit more. Don't know why I've got that song stuck in my head. The page is starting to tear out. It's going to annoy me. Okay. There's a little blob there, looks like a bubble. I didn't put it there, it must have just happened. Start painting the awkward bit on the sketchbook page. Bit of yellow in. Finish off blocking out some of this colour, and then I'll go and have a tiny little break again. Check that my little Ralphie door doesn't need to go outside. Right, so getting there for blocking out the base colour. Okay, that's it for blocking out the base colour. So what I'm just going to quickly go and do is just have a tiny little break. We'll be back in a minute, and then we're going to be adding some detail and some shading. I'm probably not going to get around to painting the other turtles that I've sketched out tonight. I'll probably do that during the week. But yeah, quick little quick little comfort break, and then I'll be back to add some little details to the turtle, and yeah. I'll be right back. Right, I am back for the last part of this little live stream. I'm just going to zoom in a bit more on Mr. Turtle here. So I desperately need to add some darker bits and some highlights and some shading, just to finish off this little turtle study. As I say, I don't think I'm going to get around to doing these other ones tonight, but I'll probably do them over the next couple of days. And gradually carry on working to doing this big panoramic painting. But yeah, it doesn't all happen all at once. So I'm just going to go in with like a little greeny bit. I'm probably not going to draw too much of the details on these spots tonight. I'm kind of running out of steam a little bit. I definitely should have started this live stream a bit earlier. But it's just kind of like a little glimpse into some of the process of coming up with an idea for a painting. Just trying to find a nice black pen. I wonder if this Sharpie will work. Oh, it does. That's a surprise. Right, so I'm going to do a little bit of work on adding some detail, but I'm probably not going to add all the spots and stuff in tonight. Suddenly doesn't work. It obviously doesn't like that bit. Let's just get his eye painted in a bit more. Oh my god, he looks evil. Give him a bit of under eye. What else can I use? That pen doesn't seem to be working particularly well. Wonder if these blue pens work. Oh, that's a surprise as well. So now just working on adding in, definitely needs to add in some shading bits because he is looking a little bit pasty faced. Oh, what is going on with that pen? Nope, I'll go back to my pencils. At least I know that they work. But yeah, he's looking a little bit pasty at the moment. So I'm just going to add in some darker bits and pieces to him. So the more information I kind of get down in my sketchbook about like where the light and shade is, when it comes to actually painting the big panoramic painting, it'll be easier to then transfer that onto the canvas. So but I tend to use my sketchbook when I'm doing these like studies for a pre-painting to kind of just figure out as much information as possible about different things. So it's not necessarily about making it look 100% like the reference, it's just about giving me I've completely lost my train of thought. So I'm just gonna carry on making some of these bits darker. And under the shell needs to be a lot darker. I need to go back in with my white paintbrush and re-highlight some of the marks and stuff. It's all about layering. Layers and layers and layers. I think I'm going to have to put some of his marks on his face. I wasn't planning to, but we'll give it a go. I'm trying to find like a nice blue. I think this is actually a brown, so I'll work in the shell anyway. Still can't find a blue for his face though. Purple. There's a better blue. Let's use this one. That's a nice one, and actually because this is a Liquitex I can scribble a bit there. And then I can use the paintbrush and some water. Some cleanish water. That's better. I still need to deal with the marks around his face, but that might be another day type of thing. Use my sketchbook like a palette now. Actually, where did I put my palette? If I mix in a bit of white, this bit here. Okay. Then I'll keep on layering until I get the colour that I want. Oh, careful not to lose too much of his eye there. I might have to draw that back in again. Need to get out some more clean white paint. Okay. What I do need to do is draw some of the patterns on his face, because his face actually looks a lot darker than this, but it's because it's covered in like little shapes and things. So let me just correct his eye, and then we'll start adding in some shading and some patterns on his face. One little splodge, two little splodge, three little splodge. I'm not going to count on all of them. It's got some tiny little splodgy bits there. There. When I come to draw it on the actual canvas, hopefully I'll still have the reference faded, and I'll probably pay a bit more attention to the shape and the position of all the blobs. But as this is just like a quick little study, I'm kind of just hinting at what is there rather than getting them 100% correct. My God, he does look angry. Soften his expression a little bit. Got too much stuff on the desk. Where did I put my white paintbrush? There it is. Bit of white onto there, and I think to make him look slightly less angry, hopefully, I'm just going to put like a little bit of white stuff around the eye, and then in the eye. Oh no, it's still grumpy. Oh wow. The grumpy little turtle. going to mix a bit of yellow and white together, just to make it so that this part of his fin stands out a little bit more, because it's got like a white highlight along it, or a whitey yellow highlight anyway. Okay. I think by adding little bits of white highlight and stuff, it's made him look a little bit less washed out. There was a part stage there where he was looking a little bit bland, but hopefully by adding a bit of, I've completely lost my train of thought again. Right. wondering whether I can be bothered to sit and paint all the details on tonight. I think I might kind of come into the end of my concentration for today, which is fine. It's really weird with little doodles. Some days you can do them really quickly, like there's some days where I can do them in an hour, and then other days they take a little bit longer to get where you want them to be. And I think this one might be one of them days where it takes me a bit longer. Right, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it for tonight with that one, because if I work on it for too much longer it's going to start going AWOL and unrescuable. So it's at a stage now where it still needs a bit more work on it, but it's definitely got like a chance to be rescued. It's not awful, but it's not the best little turtle I've ever painted. But then again, it's only meant to be a sketchbook turtle, and it's just meant to be preparation sketch for a big panoramic painting. So let me just quickly show you what I ended up working on this live stream. So obviously this little one was the thing I've been working on just for the last half an hour or so properly painting, but then I also spent a bit of time in the live stream sketching out this little fellow and this little fellow. Yeah, that's quite a little productive sketching session that I've done there. So what I'll probably do is carry on working in my sketchbook, doing some more little sea life studies. I want to finish painting these, and I might do some, obviously I still want to do the proper studies of the corals that I've got sketched out and some fish and stuff. I'm probably not going to do all of this on live stream, and in fact I might try and do a slightly different live stream on Sunday. I've got a live stream planned for Sunday, but yeah, it might be a bit of a different one because I'm going to get too like turtled and sea lifed out if not. But yeah, that was a quick little glimpse into a bit of a process of me starting to come up with an idea for a painting. I will show you over a few live streams and stuff how I'm getting on, and then eventually I do want to, on an actual live stream, do the actual big canvas painting. But yeah, as I say, I'm not going to like do like every single live stream over the next few days or months or whatever. I'm not going to make them all about sea life because I will get bored. But yeah, and as I say, I've got a few other ideas of a few different, like I want to do perhaps like a design a character with me type live stream, and maybe some crafting live streams and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you did pop on and give this a little watch, hopefully I'm gradually getting better at doing these live streams. As I say, I still want to kind of personalise them a little bit and kind of do a few more different style ones, and plan a few things to say and do during them. But yeah, I'm gradually practicing them and hopefully building up my confidence a little bit with doing them as well. So yeah, let me just give you a little last glimpse of the artwork without my big moon head being in the way. Hopefully if I click this button. Come on. Are you doing it? Oh, there we go, I've disappeared. So yeah, let me just zoom out a little bit with my camera. So yeah, that's the little page and its little extension page. Then my little turtle studies for today. I won't show you too much more of my desk because it's absolutely messy. But yeah. So yeah, as I say, thank you for watching if you did do, and I'll hopefully see you on Sunday for another little live stream.